All right, let's go. We're going to go live a little early here. See if anybody catch up to wait for a few people to jump into the live. And if you catch it, let me make sure the mic is on. Let me see. Testing, testing. All right, there we go. Make sure you can hear me okay. You guys coming a little late. Either way, like I said, give a few minutes to get in here. If you catch it later, it's going to be beneficial anyway. But welcome. If you're new, my name is LJ Young, and I am what do you call it? I am the founder of SMD. Let's just start with that. I'm the founder of SMD, and what I've done is become debt-free and open up a whole new perspective of the world. And I share my journey with everyone, especially the SMD family members. And I've realized, as SMD grows, I've realized this channel is really just for SMD family, really, because it's a language that not many understand. So, and this has been a hellified journey. It's been about 10 years since I've been on this journey, and I've learned a lot. I've experienced a lot. Just many things, not only just financially, just personal wise. It's all about perspective. Okay. So, all right. So the latest with everything, what should I start with? First, let me just tell you, what do I do? I help people become debt free, change their lives forever, understand taxes, how they really work, understand how capitalism is really psychological, positive and negative. Debt slaves live on the negative side. And the psychological part is this: they don't know that they live on the negative side. And that was me. I was over there, thought credit. What's up, James? How you doing, sir? Credit was everything. Credit score was everything. I was a computer engineer for damn near 20 years. I had the nice place, the nice car, making six figures. I was looking and I made sure the world could see that I was making six figures. And then when I got to that six-figure mark, I realized, now what? What do I do now? Nothing, because I didn't own anything. I was making six figures. That meant I was up in a pretty middle-class, high tax bracket. And being in debt, I couldn't do anything about it to get out of it because I didn't have any money to get out of it. So one day I simply asked God, I'm like, God, what am I missing? Because that's what I said to myself. I was standing in my fancy high-rise apartment, and I said, God, I'm missing a piece. What am I missing? First thing God sent me to was Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, take the calculator and these baby steps, get out of debt. And that's exactly what I did. But when I got down to the part, even though I didn't have a mortgage, but on his baby steps, it says, when you get down to your mortgage, start putting away money for retirement, the kids' college funds, and all this other stuff, this whole list. But according to the calculator, when I put in your mortgage payment minus my mortgage balance, even though just follow me here, mortgage payment minus my mortgage balance and hit equal, the calculator said, I don't have money to put anything anywhere, no college, no savings, no 401k. And at that moment, I knew I was onto something, because Mr. Ramsey's, he was having people come on the show doing debt-free screens while still having mortgages. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. The calculator says you can't do a debt-free screen while having a mortgage, but they still were. And I was like, oh, that's business. I know now that's business. Because if he waited for everybody to pay off their mortgage before they could do a debt-free screen, there would be far less debt-free screens for the show. There would be nobody continuing on past whatever baby step 3 or 4, whatever that is, to get down to your mortgage, start putting away things into retirement, and so on and so forth. I said, okay, that's business. So that's why I left Mr. Ramsey's plan, because I knew at that moment, after that moment, he wasn't talking to me anymore. He was talking to people that believe they could save money and save for retirement and save for kids' college funds while having a mortgage, when you can't do that. None of that is mathematically true. So that's when I left and went on and tried to figure out what was missing. So I did figure out what was missing. Once I got out of debt, my credit report now proves that no business, well, credit reports really are just, they were my debt slave papers. They kept track of all the businesses that owned me, and my credit score was nothing more than reward points for staying in debt with my owners listed on my credit report. So I got out of debt, figured out what a credit report really is. And then once I got out of debt, I created my own business. So here is where the title of the video comes in, okay? Because I'm not gonna make this really long. I decided that I'm going to share this with the SMB family while I'm on my journey doing it. So when you guys run into these issues, you guys will know what to do and how to do them. So right now, I am in the middle of trying to find health insurance as a business owner and a single person, okay? Now, we know we have this time gap where you have a certain window to hurry up and get insurance, right? You got hurry up, the window's closing. They send me all these emails, better hurry up. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even know what to do. I don't know and the prices are outrageous, and just none of it makes any sense. And as soon as I said that to myself, it reminded me of when I was getting out of debt. When I asked God, I'm like, I'm missing something. Something is not making sense. Now I understand that is a key. When it doesn't make sense, that means there's a piece that I'm missing. No different than when I was getting out of debt. Same thing, right? So I said, okay, how do I pick, healthcare insurance? Because I didn't know what to do, right? Everybody points me to an insurance broker. So I called a couple insurance brokers, right? And they kind of like, oh, hey, you picked this. It's still all confusing. I'm like, well, what about the taxes? Because as a business owner, let me explain this to you guys, that when you guys get out and eventually start your own business, taxes are key. Understand that. Taxes is another form of income that debt slaves cannot see because they're in debt. Debt slaves cannot save money on taxes because they're in debt. They don't know that part. So now, as a debt-free person, I'm talking to insurance brokers, and then they're kind of running through me, running the health insurance things. Well, you can go this hospital serves this. What about this hospital and this Regency? And they run through all these not hospitals, but these health insurance providers. They work here, some work there. I don't know anything about anything, let alone have a deadline to hurry up and choose, right? So I started asking, I was like, well, what about the taxes? I need to make sure how my business is structured to make sure it co-works with the taxes so I can save my money on taxes, right? None of them know. None of them knew what to do. I'm like, okay, I'm coming to you to find this information out. But then I realized I come back to the original SMD way. These people have to be personally debt-free to understand what I'm saying. It's a language. None of them know what I need them to know to help me understand, not only to pick the correct healthcare coverage, how it works with the taxes of my business. What's up, Omanike? The taxes of my business. None of them have answers. I'm like, wait a minute. I need to find a debt-free insurance broker, a debt-free tax professional, and a debt-free CPA. You know how hard that is to find those kind of people? It's crazy. I can't even find them. Every time I try to contact one, when I ask that question, it throws them off, or they get kind of offended when I ask them that question. I'm like, I need you to know these answers. I need you to know these answers. Would you say, oh, LJ, forget about it. They aren't around. People have ideas. What different? Oh, Monique, if I can't find them, Monique, I have to create them, because this is very important, especially in business. I want S&D family, I need you guys to really understand this. Taxes are key. Not that you have to fully understand them. You need to find a professional that does understand them. And the tax professional, the CPA, the health insurance broker, they have to be debt-free to understand the language. If I cannot find them, I will have to create them. It's a must. I'm not hurrying up. You're not going to push me into to hurry up and pick a healthcare plan to do this. No. I'm taking my time. Oh, you're going to miss the window. Then I miss the window. Then I'll get it when the window opens up again. I'm not rushing into nothing. It's crazy. It's bananas. It's like this. Here, let me give you an example. Say like you have a job now that you have a HSA plan, okay? Health savings account that you can put money in. Say like you can put up to 2,000. I'm saying I don't know the limits right now. Say like your health HSA allows you to put in $3,000 into a health savings account, right? That 3,000, not only it takes $3,000 off of your taxable income, but you can use that money for like co-pays, and usually jobs have a whole list of things that you can use that HSA card for. That's non-taxed money that you can use for co-pays. Instead of paying co-pays out of your pocket, tax money, non-tax money. You're saving money on taxes. You're saving money when you spend on these health list things that you have on the HSA that you can spend on. That's the advantage you have when you have money to do that. So going back to the business side of tax things, I need a professional that understands what I'm talking about. They must understand it. They have to understand it. I know it's going to be like a needle in a haystack. I do know that's what it's going to be, but it just has to be that way. It's frustrating because we don't know. These professionals could be deep in debt. They're just out to get a commission check. I'm not saying all of them are, but the majority of them are just trying to get a commission check. They're not really understanding the taxes that you can save, which health plan is best for you. I want a professional that knows how to do that for me. I don't want to do it, but I need them to do it right. This is very, very frustrating. Look at the best thing you can do is get with rich, debt-free folks, and they will inform. That is true, Omanike. I just need to find rich, debt-free folks. And even that with Omanike, it's like, what is rich? Every word has everybody's definition of a word is different. Rich means many different things for different people. It's just been frustrating for me. I don't know how to ask the question right. I know what I want to ask, but when I ask, some get offended. It's crazy. And check this out. Today, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to, well, no, let me go back. When you have a job, this is important too. I'm sorry for skipping. Next time I'm gonna write down the bullet points. It'll make it much easier, so I don't be sounding like I'm wandering all over the place, right? But when you have a job, you sign up for the job. The job already has the insurance plan for you, so you don't even have to think. You just say, okay, this is the insurance plan. You might have two choices, HSA or FSA or whatever, right? You pick that plan and you're done, right? But the job pays for 50, 60, 75% of the plan because they got a huge, humongous group plan, right? But when as a single person, you have to pay the full price. So the first time I called the broker and they were like, okay, it goes by your income. So unless you have your exact income, they let you estimate it. So I gave them a number. They were like, okay, we got different plans. This is $1,000 a month. Okay, something's wrong there. That doesn't make sense. I'm not going to spend it. I don't even hardly go to the doctor. I'm not going to spend $1,000 a month. And I'm not, again, it goes by your income, right? I need them to figure that out. I don't want to figure that out. That's what I'm paying them for, right? But when you have a job, you don't have to think about that. But when you get out of when you don't have a job, now it's all on you. It's you you never, as a person with a job, you never have to even think about that kind of stuff. It's just there. When you get out on your own, there's a million different ways to do it. There's different healthcare providers that do all. It's just. And another thing I did today, I said, you know what? Let me figure out, as a debt-free person with no credit score, let me see if I can get a credit card. Okay, so I went to my bank. I applied for a credit card with my bank, who I've been banking with for 18 years. My personal account's there and my business account there. I was like, okay, they're going to give me a credit card, no problem. But I'm testing the water so I can see how this works as a debt-free person with no credit score. Do you know they denied me? They denied me. And they can see my money in my accounts, and they denied me. They want you to be in debt to get a credit card, which is bananas. Completely bananas. Completely bananas. I was surprised. So this is what I suggest you do for the people that for the S&D family members. If you have a credit card right now, make sure you keep it. Okay, as you become debt free and your credit score goes to zero because you're not using any credit anymore, keep the credit card you have right now and just keep. I have one credit card that I still have, but I've been having it since I was in debt. So it's well over 10 years with this same credit card. But that credit card, I still have it because I'm in good standing with them. They know that I'm paying it, so they're not going to check my credit. Hey, you don't have a credit score, we're going to cancel it. And they don't do nothing like that. So it's, you can write off health insurance. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can write off premiums as a self-employed person. That is true. But what does that mean to certain people? That doesn't mean, if you're in debt, you don't really know what that means. I promise you that. You don't know. And the person that's doing, like the professional tax person, especially a business tax person, they must be debt free to understand this language that I'm speaking. They must be debt free. They always say you can write off. That's true. But when you have a job, they say the same thing too. They say, let's go back to a job because people understand that more. They say, if you input some money into your HSA plan, you can reduce yourself and your taxable income, blah, blah, blah. But when you're in debt, you have no money to put into the plan to reduce your taxable income. The calculator says you have no money to do it. People that put money into retirement while having a mortgage, retirement while having car payments, that is mathematically impossible. You can't do it. But when you're in debt, you don't know that you can't do it. So when you start a business, you get debt free personally, you're going to naturally carry that over into business, and then you're going to see the business side of tax free. And when you own a business, taxes are key to understanding what that means. Taxes are key. The person that needs to know this is the tax business person needs to understand what that means. Now, I'm not saying when you go to a tax professional, right, and they're not personally debt free, I'm not saying that they're not good at their job. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that they don't understand a key piece. They work perfectly for debt slaves. Hey, you can do this and we can save you some. They're not saving any money. They're not really reducing themselves in their tax brackets. Nothing's happening. They just believe it's happening. None of it is mathematically true. You can't do it. So now this is what I'm going to do. They're not pressuring me in to hurry up and get a plan before the window closed. No, I'm not doing none of that. No, I'm not doing that until I understand what that means, because the insurance, what I can see now, the insurance companies, especially the healthcare insurance companies, I can clearly see how they are making so much money. This is what I can see now. Say like Everybody notices. Say like you go to the hospital, right? And they charge some ridiculous amount of money for a some kind of hospital piece of a equipment, right? It's a ridiculous amount of money. The reason why you don't care how much the piece of equipment is or whatever, say like it's a breather and it's some crazy amount of money, right? But if you go find it somewhere and you pay it in cash, it's like a quarter of the price. The reason why you don't care how much this breather is, if it's $3,000-$4,000, is because your insurance is covering it. That's why you don't care what the price is. That's why they can charge that price for that item, because you don't care, because your insurance is covering it. If you were paying for it, you would say, I can buy that on Amazon for $500. But they could charge $3,000 for it when the insurance covers. I don't care if it's 100% covered. Who cares how much? That's how they make their money. But at the same time, they charge you. They still make you. You can go years paying in your premiums, but at the time you need some help, you got co-pays, you got a deductible, and you ain't used your insurance for 3, 5, 10 years. When you see stuff like that, when I see now that I can see, when I see co-pays, insurance deductibles, and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I'm missing something there. There's something I'm missing. Taxes take care of that kind of stuff. It's frustrating. Why is it so hard to find a debt-free professional, debt-free CPA, a debt-free, especially a tax business person? They should automatically be debt-free, personally debt-free, to understand. How come they're not? Because the majority of people are in debt. Even all these so-called professionals, again, it doesn't make them not knowledgeable. It doesn't make them dumb. It doesn't mean that they're not helping their customers right. It doesn't mean that, but it means that they don't understand this language. That debt-free is a language. What's up, man? What's up? Oh, it's Kingpin now. It's because I don't have a credit score, but I got to figure that out too, Omanike. The rich, if you're wealthy, like Dave Rebs, he always says, now I understand what he says. He says, I don't have a credit score. Now, the only reason why I'm even talking about like a credit card, because it just makes things more convenient in this world. Renting cars and stuff like that, it makes it easier. It makes it easier. But this is my goal now. This is what I'm determined. And if you are CPA, if you are a business tax professional, especially if you're a healthcare insurance broker, and you're hearing this video and you don't understand what I'm saying or whatever, and you want to understand, I will help you for free. As long as you are passionate, because believe it or not, people, there are people that are passionate about taxes. There are people that are passionate about healthcare insurance brokers. There are passionate healthcare insurance brokers. There are passionate CPA. I can make you the best of whatever that in the United States, in the world, because I know something that the majority does not. The rich, wealthy people will come to you because you will speak the language. Debt-free is a language. Having money is a language. It cannot be fake, because people that are in debt, they don't even know this language exists. Especially if you're young and you want to grow a business, and you want to grow a CPA business, a tax firm business, you want to be the best and nobody will be able to mess with you. Come to me, I will help you for free, and we'll just exchange our services. Because after I find out after I help you, other SMB family members will come to you when they start businesses, because they will know that you know exactly what to do. They won't have to worry about it. They just give you the proper information, and then you'll figure all that out. The best way to organize the business, W-2, or should I do a S Corp? What's the best way that'll coincide with the health insurance, so I can get all the benefits by using taxes and not my money? Because taxes is another form of hidden income that debt slaves do not know. They do not know it. nor can they ever know it unless they become debt free. Would you say, Remy? Yep. Unlike life insurance, health insurance premiums increase each year, exactly, increase. Now, you got to ask yourself, why? Always look for the things that do not make sense. Why do they increase? We just have to accept that they increase. The people that do not know, if you don't understand how taxes work, you think you have to accept it and you just have to do it. No, you don't. There's different ways to do it. I know this for a fact. This is fact. I remember saying this years ago. I am going to create a team of people that understand this, professionals that understand this. You will have a successful business of people that understand and will come straight to you because you understand the language of debt free. This is looking for healthcare insurance as a single person with a business is very, very frustrating because I don't want to. As soon as I ask them about being debt free, it gets quiet. Why are you asking me that? You're coming to me for the help and this and that. I don't want to explain that. I don't want to waste my energy. I don't want to talk to them about it. I just want you guys to. I just want them to understand it. Like right now, I have a good CPA business, not a person, CPA business that does my business and personal taxes. They do them good, but I know for a fact they don't understand the language of debt free because I've thrown things out at them, asked them some kind of questions, and they don't really understand it. So I just stop. I want a person that fully understands what I'm saying. And listen, if you're this person, and if you're trying to grow a business, you'll have two types of clients. You'll have the client, no different than Dave Ramsey. I want you guys to kind of put this in your mind. If Dave Ramsey told his clients that, hey, you're really not debt free if you have a mortgage, what do you think would happen to his business? What do you think would happen to all those videos of debt-free screams while having a mortgage? They would have to stop. It's business. So if you are a professional and you are personally debt-free, you will have two types of clients. You will help the people that are in debt. You will help them with their taxes, do whatever. Hey, yeah, invest in here and put some money into your retirement. It will reduce your taxable income, blah, blah, blah. Let them, okay, do it. And then you will have the people that understand that you cannot invest in anything if you have debt. You cannot reduce your taxable income. Debt slaves cannot save money on taxes. They cannot reduce their taxable income while they're in debt. That is mathematically impossible. They do not know that. Now imagine this. Now listen closely, SMD family. This is really for you guys, really. Imagine if all the people with mortgages knew they can't save for retirement while having a mortgage. What if they knew they couldn't invest into a retirement plan while having a mortgage? What if they knew that? What if they knew they couldn't invest into their HSA plan what if they knew that? That would disrupt everything. That cannot happen. That cannot happen. That would freak everybody out. Capitalism, it cannot exist without debt slaves. It cannot. Capitalism cannot exist without debt slaves. Debt slaves are the engine of capitalism. If they knew they couldn't save money on taxes while having debt, that would be a problem. They cannot know. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, LJ, you're telling them now in this video. It's a language, people. Debt slaves could watch this video. They have no idea what I'm saying. Even the business owners, there are business owners right now that are in personal debt and business debt and thinking they're making money. They're not making any money. They're getting eaten alive by taxes and they don't even know they are. Again, when you own a business, taxes are key. Yeah, I'm in Washington State. Yeah. I help with health health insurance, excuse me, I can provide you my info. Are you personally debt free, Raymond? Are you Raymond? And if you're not, and if you want to understand it, I'll be glad to. We can just exchange information. Here, let me put up my email here. Shoot me an email, sir. There's my email. Shoot me an email. Okay, I'm not licensed in Washington, but I can give you as much info as I can. Cool. I still would love to just to hear from you and talk to you. Are you personally debt free? And if not, have you ever heard of anybody even talking like this? Please let me know. But we can talk more. Shoot me an email, man. We can talk. Because what I'm trying to do is create a team. What I'm trying to create doesn't exist. Well, I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. Let me not say that. It's very rare. To find debt-free professionals in these fields is very rare, very rare. Oh, okay. Okay, cool, cool. You've been watching me for quite a while. So you already know. You pretty much know what I'm gonna say. But this is new to me. This is new. I've been talking about this quite a few years, but now that I'm on the business side, I can see this needs to happen. This definitely, especially a professional tax person. That's the person I'm really looking for. Somebody that's very ambitious and loves taxes. Because once I became debt free, I enjoy learning about taxes. A lot of people don't. They're terrified of taxes, scared of the IRS. You're only like that because you don't understand them. If Raymond is debt free, he should be a guest of yours. Give us the background on debt slaves and how they behave with insurance. Hey, listen, this side of things, the business side of things is brand new to me. And I can see SMD, this SMD channels for the SMD family members, right? My purpose is to share this with you while I'm doing it, to prepare you guys, because naturally, SMD family members, you already know, once you become debt free and you have a job, you already know you have to figure out a way to get out from the job because you're tired of being around debt slaves, hearing them talking debt language all the time, doing debt things and thinking they're getting ahead. That's going to be enough for you. You can't take it anymore. So you're going to naturally create something, which is the scary part, because that's the first thing you think. You're like, okay, if I quit my job, what am I going to do about health insurance? Well, I'm going to figure that out right now. I'm in the process of figuring that out right now, so you guys can make this transition easy. Figure out, you'll easier to know what every state is different. It counts on what it's so. I'm in Washington State, right? It counts on what county I live in, what area I live in, which provider service, which hospitals I can and cannot go to. What is all that? They make it confusing on purpose. And if you're coming from a job that you just sign up for the job, go with the plan that they have, everything is just laid out for you. When you come out of that plan, when you come out of the job world and come into your own business, it's not like that anymore. It's not like that. Taxes are important, premium, all this other stuff. All of it's important. All of it's important. Debt slave babble. Exactly. Debt slave babble, Nick. For sure. You're getting tired of hearing that. That's why I ended up quitting my job. Can you believe this month right now? This month right now is 10 years. I quit my 6-figure job 10 years ago. 10 years. And the SMD family, you guys already know the journey I've gone through. You guys already know the journey I've gone through, but this is beautiful. I enjoy this. I enjoy doing the hard part. So when you guys make this transition over into the business world, You won't have these fears. And you guys already know what fears mean. False evidence appearing real psychologically. Fears. Because in health insurance is the main scary thing. What am I going to do for healthcare coverage, right? I'm going to make this transition easier. I'm going to hook up with people like knowledgeable people like Raymond. I'm going to figure this out. I need them to speak the language. I'm going to build, my goal is to build a team of people, especially, it's probably going to be more, but right now I see 3: health insurance brokers, tax professional, and a CPA, all debt-free, personally debt-free, so they can understand what I'm talking about, what I need, what's best for me. I don't go to the doctor all the time. I take care of myself health-wise all the time. I've been doing that all my life. I don't go to the doctor all the time, but I'm not going to be paying $1,000 a month for not using the hospital service. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Oh, you can write off the premiums. I don't care about writing off the premiums if I don't have to pay them in the first place. I'm not doing it. I understand my business is going to pay for all, my business pays for all my stuff, but that's irrelevant. Tax savings, period. And only a personal debt-free person can understand that. And I'm being, hey, listen, I've been making more and more calls. I'm just being straightforward, raw. Hey, by the way, are you personally debt-free? Huh? Yeah, are you personally debt-free? At first I used to say, hey, I need to ask you a question. It's going to be kind of odd, blah, blah, blah. I just go straight and say, are you personally debt-free? No, forget about it. Again, not saying that they don't know what they're talking about, not saying that they don't know what they're doing. I need them to understand the tax implications of the decisions I'm making because it's key. Here, let me give you an example for the people that the six-figure earners, right? Let me give you an example of what happened to me. I remember when I first broke through the six-figure, I got a raise and I finally broke through the six-figure mark. I was so happy. I was looking forward to that first check. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to see that first check. When I got that first check, you know how much it was? Damn near the same. It was the same amount, damn near the same amount as before the raise. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how could the same, if you got a raise to go into six figures, how could it be the same amount before the six figures? That's called tax brackets. That's when I first started understanding how tax brackets work. I said, well, what can I do about that? Oh, now I'm debt free at this time. Okay, I'm debt free at this time. They said, well, now you can invest into your retirement plan. Well, here I am making six figures, and at that time, I believe I could put into like 20,000. I'm just making up this number, 20,000 into a 401k, right? And I used to say to myself, making six figures, I can't afford to put $20,000 into a 401k in one single year. I should have took a step back and said, well, why can't I do that? I'm making six figures because I was in debt. But when I was out of debt, I fully funded my 401k for like a couple years straight, which brought me down under the next tax bracket that I bumped into. When I got the raise, it bumped me into another tax bracket. By putting money to maxing out my 401k brought me down back under that tax bracket. So now, not only was I saving money on taxes, it's twofold. Saving money on taxes by reducing my tax bracket and putting money into my 401k, earning interest and doing all the stuff it does inside of a 401k. It's like double dipping. Debt slaves cannot do that. You cannot find one debt slave that go to your job, try to find one debt slave that is maxing out their 401k, fully funding it $20,000. You're not going to find it. Why? Because they have no money to do it. They have no money to do it. What's up, Stephen? How you doing, sir? There are accountants who say it's smart to pay off a mortgage, so that's no surprise. Okay, but that is smart, pay off your mortgage. But what other debt do these tax guys usually have? If you ask them why they have it, do they give you an answer? Well, some do, because you gotta ask them a certain way. Because you got to remember, if you say, do you have a mortgage? And they say, they'll probably say yes because they think it's normal. You say, do you have a car loan? They probably say yes. It's not a big deal because they believe it's normal. You don't really have to, I don't really have to say, are you personally debt free? Because they don't really understand that. But these professionals, I just come and ask them because it saves me time. I don't feel like doing all this. Yep, I don't feel like doing all this talking as to why I'm asking these questions. It is what it is. So I figure I have to create this myself. I have to find the professionals that will listen to this. They listen to this video with an open mind and say, "What? Why is he saying that?" Well, his math is right. If you stick with the math and you listen to this video now or later, and you are one of these professionals, try to listen to this video mathematically. If you hear me, if you hear me saying you cannot invest until retirement while having debt, is you ask yourself, is that mathematically true what he's saying? If the answer is yes, ask yourself, I've never heard that before. Why do I don't believe it? Email me. We can help each other. I will teach you for free, and you could hey, listen, you can help me for free. We can exchange, we can build a team. It's just going to grow and grow and grow. That's my goal. Because I'm tired of dealing with this kind of stuff, man. Debt free, especially now. If you personally, I thought it was difficult to talk to debt slaves on the business side. Oh man, it's hard to believe you got all these tax professionals deep in debt, having no idea that if you are a tax professional, you 100% should not be in debt. 100% personal debt, not at all. Again, for the S&D family members, this is what I'm trying to help you with. The scariness of quitting your job. What am I going to do for healthcare coverage? I'm going to fix that gap for you guys. I'm going to help you guys do that transition. No different than helping you guys transition from the debt matrix. You remember how scary that was? You remember, Omanike, when you let go of the house, all the S&B family members that talk to me, the ones that don't even talk to me. There's S&B family members that follow me for years. You guys don't necessarily talk to me. You don't really have to. Remember how scary that step was? Now that you're debt free, you're free. This is the same type of fear, the scariness of it when you do this transition to over to business. What am I going to do with health insurance? What about this? What about that? I'm going to help you with that gap. I'm going to help you cross that scary bridge. I promise you. Promise you. What's up, Tracy? He says, I'm debt free with a credit score of 0. Is that okay? That's mean right now. I live in another country that doesn't check credit scores. Congratulations. Congratulations. That is me today. That is me right now. I am debt free with no credit score. And that's cool. But I tried to get a credit card today with a bank that I've been banking with for 18 years. They declined me. They said no because you got a credit score. You guys can see my money. You guys can see my money. You guys can see it. And they still said no. That's crazy. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. Going to figure this out. He said, yes, it was scary, and I'm so happy at Biz Financial and you, LJ. You are the reason I'm free. Thank you, Monique. Thank you. Debt-free is a freedom unlike anything. And SMB family, when you guys figure out whatever your business venture is going to be, this is what I suggest. While you have a job, right? While you have a job, start exploring. Find a CPA, healthcare broker, or whatever, and start exploring your healthcare options. Say like put it like this: you have you have your job. You start your business while you have your job. While you have your job with your insurance, and then soon as your side business starts making money, start pairing up with health insurance brokers or tax professionals and say, "Hey, my business is starting to ramp up. Can you help me figure out what healthcare plan I should go with once I depart from this job?" start that transition right now. You can take your time looking. You can check out the different healthcare insurance providers in your area. You don't have to rush. There's no rush. You don't have to be scared. Well, I know you are. I know you're covered, Omanike, but you don't have to be scared on what the choice is. Like, I just jumped out there because I had to do it. Nobody could help me. Nobody can really understand what I'm doing. So that's how SMD was created, because it didn't exist. This whole environment, SMD, the language, none of this existed. I had to create it. Now I'm onto this new venture on the business side of things. Taxes, I reiterate, I want SMD family members, taxes are key when you start your own business. Taxes are key. You got to take the leap. You do. But you guys can do it smart, okay? You guys can do it smart. You guys can start your business while you have a job. That way you still got money coming in. You still can use the healthcare insurance of your job. But then as soon as you see your business starts making money, then you can start reaching out. Okay, what are my options? How should I structure this business? Should it be an LLC, S Corp? Should I be a W-2 under that business? The tax person, the debt-free tax person, will be able to help you do that while you have your job. So when you're ready to go, everything will be set up. Everything will be good to go. You don't have to do the scary shit that I'm doing. You have to take that leap for sure. I did. People thought I was crazy when I quit my job in 2016. Are you crazy, LJ? You went to school for years. What do you do? Hey, listen. Do not. Let me tell you something, SMD family members. Let me tell you something. Do not tell your dreams to people, your dreams and goals to people that don't have dreams and goals, because they will scare you with all their why you can't do it. 5 out of 6 businesses fail in the first. Hey, listen, I know what you heard on the internet. I know what you heard on TikTok and all this stuff. Get away from those people, because they'll try to put their fears onto you. And then you'll start thinking, oh, I'm gonna be homeless. I'm not gonna have. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. I had to leave the medical field. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to deal with the programming. With the program, it's a trip. Yep. Tracy says, I will have higher interest rates because I have no credit history. Listen, Tracy, there's ways of doing it. You don't have to accept higher interest rates of anything. It counts on what you're talking about. A house, people that are in debt. Put it this way. When you have no debt, prices, the cost of things is very different. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Like, here, let me give you a simple example. When you go to the gas station, say like the gas is $4 a gallon, okay? The price of gas is only $4 a gallon for debt-free people, because when you go there and pay for the gas, it's $4 a gallon for you. But when a debt slave pulls up, they pull up in their finance car. So if their car's financed, they don't have no money for gas either. So they have to finance the gas. So it's going to be $4 a gallon plus the interest rate of their credit card, and how long they're going to spread the gallons of gas over years, because they don't pay off their credit card at the end of every month. So the gas for them is much costs way more. They don't know that. They don't know they're financing gas. It doesn't matter if the car. I notice, like right now, I see a lot of people making Tesla videos, right? Oh, I'm saving money. I don't have to spend money on it. They don't know what they're talking about. They're not saving any kind of money. The only thing a person that would have financed Tesla, the only thing they're doing different, instead of using their credit card at the gas pump, they're using it at the charging station. That is it. Instead of financing gas, they're financing electricity for their car. They don't know that. Oh, it's fast. It drives itself. They're talking like it's free. You think it's free just because they are happy that their car is driving them to work with no hands. They don't have to use any hands, but they still have to drive to work. They just program their job into their work, and it drives them to work, stays there all day, then they get off and it stays at home all day or at the charging station. They're like, oh, if you don't believe me, go look it up. Those guys, they're happy to sit at the charging station and watch video. Oh, I can watch Netflix while my car is charging. Are you crazy? They don't know. You're not watching Netflix and Hulu for free at the chart. You're paying for they're paying for everything. They're paying for everything. It's crazy. But that is business. The banks are not evil. The IRS and taxes are not bad. None of that is true. Taxes are not evil and bad. The banks are not evil and bad. None of that is true. Only people in debt talk like that. Now, when it comes to the business side of things, I can clearly see how healthcare companies are making a fucking killing. First, you're in fear because if something happens to you, you're not going to be able to pay for it. It's going to cause you to go in bankruptcy. So I have to hurry up and get covered. So you just reach out there and grab anything you can. If you don't have a job, you're just going to grab anything so you can have coverage. And then you're not going to pay attention to what the premiums are, what the write-offs are. I'm not doing none of that. I'm taking my time. So now when I figure this out, I'm going to share it with the SMD family. So you guys don't have to be scared about anything. You'll know exactly what to do, how to do it, who to call, who's going to tell you what to do, how to structure your business, all of that, because I'm going to, if I can't find these people, these professionals or personal debt free, I'm going to have to create them. The younger, the better, because the majority of people probably been in it 10, 20 years. They come and hear that. They be like, oh, what the fuck is he talking about? He don't know what he's talking. He's not whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care what they think. LJ, what other debt do these tax professionals tend to have besides their mortgage? If you ask them why they still have it, what kind of answers? Well, I haven't asked those kind of questions. I'm getting more and more comfortable asking, but I'm still getting used to doing it, because I want you guys to listen closely, okay? SMD family. It doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing, okay? I'm not saying these professionals do not understand the business that they're in. I'm not saying they don't know I'm saying they don't know this language if they're in debt. That's all I'm saying. They're missing a piece. They don't know. They just don't know. What's up, Jarquez? Finally, you did. You finally caught it. You finally caught it, sir. Just like there's SMD family, there's nothing wrong with the job. All I'm saying is this: at some point, you're going to get tired of being around debt slave. Debt's, like Nick said, debt slave babble. You're not going to be able to take it. That's why I quit. I couldn't take it anymore. Hey, man, I took out a second mortgage. I'm redoing my patio. I'm upgrading my house. No, you're not. You're not doing any of that. You're not doing none of that. You can't say that. You can't say any of that. Honestly, this is exciting for me. Okay, it's frustrating. It just reminds me of when I was first getting out of debt. It was frustrating at first until I understood it, and now I'm free of personally debt free. This is the same thing. I'm going to figure out this healthcare insurance shit. I'm going to figure this out because they are making trillions of dollars from people being terrified, not understanding how it works. But I get it. I can see what they're doing. You got to remember, this is how the healthcare insurance game works. I want you guys to be able to tell. As long as you have insurance, healthcare coverage, you don't care what they charge you at. If you're in the hospital, if they charge you a ridiculous amount for a robe or some slippers or some food, you don't care what the price is. This is why they can make so much money. You don't care what the price is if it's covered. You don't care. That's why they can charge anything they want to charge there, because you don't care if it's covered. But you're paying in deductibles and these premiums. Why? If I'm not no different than car insurance, you can go years without getting in an accident. Years. Why the fuck do I still have a deductible after years? I don't know, but you still do. Oh yeah, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you get your annual. You get, well, a lot of debt slaves pay it monthly, but I pay mine by the year of every 6 months, right? I remember one time I got it and it went up. I was like, I didn't get any accident. You know what they said? Oh well, in the general area, there's a high rate of what do their accidents have to do with me? You can't do shit about it. You can't do nothing but just pay it. Nope, not anymore. Not anymore. Shop around. Time to shop around. That's what you gotta. They're they make money. Insurance companies make money because when you're in debt, you don't know. You don't have options. Like I remember when I was first getting out of debt, right? And I was paying my monthly car insurance. I was paying my car insurance monthly. And then when I finally looked at the bill, I saw an extra like $11 or something. I was like, I called my insurance company. I was like, hey, what is this $11 that you guys are charging me? Oh, we charge a fee to take your monthly fee. They charged me a fee for taking my monthly payment. I was like, what the? I'm paying you already. Now I said, how can I get out of that? Oh, you just pay us every 6 months or you pay us by the year. You don't have to pay $11. I said, okay, cool. That's what I'm paying. Boom. Debt slaves, they know debt slaves do not have an option to get out of that extra fee because they're in debt. They don't have the money to pay their insurance yearly or every 6 months because they're in debt. Especially if you have a new car and you're making car payments, they already know that you are not paying your insurance every 6 months to a year. You're not doing it. You're not doing it because you can't. No different than the hospital insurance, the healthcare coverage. They know the majority of us are terrified. If something happens, man, that could a hospital bill can break me. Yeah, it's true. But you don't have to live in terror. You don't have to live in fear. You can take your time, take a step back, and say, okay, let me figure this out. I'm gonna start taking care of myself a little better. I'm not gonna eat because I noticed this too. When I had health insurance, I wasn't really. I mean, I've always taken care of myself, but I was a little more relaxed because I had healthcare insurance. So if something happened, I'm covered. But once I didn't have any healthcare insurance, I started paying a little closer attention to what I eat, my exercise, my blood pressure. I paid it for more attention because I knew I wasn't going to be covered, which was a good thing. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I paid more attention to it. P.S. turning big, big. He said big 3-5. August and family is pressuring me more to buy a home. Buy a home. Okay. In Massachusetts, they are crazy. Damn near 700K for. Let me tell you something, Jacquees. When you see the prices of homes, that's for you know why they're that price because they know debt slaves are going to finance them. When you have the money, you get a tax lien house, a foreclosure house. People with money don't pay those kind of prices. That's what people that need mortgages pay those kind of prices. That's why you don't get involved in house prices. That has nothing to do with debt-free people. Nothing. House prices have house prices have nothing to do with debt-free people. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. It feels so good to be. I know you guys hear the frustration in my voice, but it's at the same time it's exciting because coming from a job, I'm telling you, I remember I remember when I first quit my job, right? And of course, the insurance stops. And then I got this Cobra letter from Cobra Insurance. Oh, if you want to continue your same coverage, you can pay like $1,400 a month, some crazy number. I'm like, how am I going to pay that if I don't have no job? It's to scare me. Listen, it was to scare me to hurry up and get another job. That's the purpose of that. They send me the letter. If I don't have a job, they know I can't afford to pay that. So that scares me to try to scare me into get another job. No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I'll figure it out. I figured it out. It's to scare you. They do not make it easy. And I get it. Listen, I get it. It's to scare you into staying into the system. They're not gonna make it easy for you to get out. Not It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy to escape. That's on purpose, and I get it. Everybody can't understand this because the system wouldn't work. Think about it closely. If the people with mortgages, and I want the debt-free family members to understand the language, because you see me, I'm speaking out normal. This is an open video for anybody to see. If debt slaves knew that they cannot buy a house with a mortgage, the housing market wouldn't exist because it couldn't exist. They would just walk out their house like, I don't own nothing. No, I don't. Then they would leave. The whole thing would crash. That can't happen. You mean to tell me I can't save for retirement while having a mortgage? Nope, you can't do that. Then how am I doing it? I log into my retirement account. I see money in there. I know it looks like that. Those are digital numbers on the screen. That's not cash. They log into their account and say, "Oh man, I got this much saved." No, you don't. Those are digital numbers on the computer screen. That's not cash. Oh, I'm pulling equity out of my house. Equity is not money. That's a word that the bank made up to make you believe it's money or whatever. Hey, listen, whatever you want to believe, you can believe it. But equity is not money. It is not money. If you own your house and listen, if you bought a house in cash and you owned a house in cash, you wouldn't use the word equity because you would just use the word value. Oh, my house is worth this, it's valued at that. You wouldn't say equity because the bank has nothing to do with you. So the next time you hear a person say, "Oh, I got this much equity in my house," automatically understand it's a language. Listen, it's a language. If you hear somebody tell you how much equity they have in their house, they're telling you that they have a mortgage. They don't know that they're saying that. They don't know by using the word equity that they're telling a debt-free person that they have a mortgage. You don't own a house if you have a mortgage. You could have a house, you could own a house right next to a debt slave with a mortgage, and they will think they're the same as you. They will call themselves a homeowner, but the word homeowner is positive and negative. Understand this, it's positive and negative. So when you hear a person call themselves a homeowner, it's negative because if they open up the calculator, put in their mortgage payment minus their mortgage balance and hit equal, it's a large negative number. And according to the number line that we all learned in elementary school math class, it's on the negative side. So they're talking about homeowner in the negative sense, not the positive sense. A person that owns their house and bought it in cash, they're on the positive side. You understand? They can call themselves a homeowner, but they're a negative homeowner. And again, if you're catching this video late and you see the title, and if you're a business tax professional, if you're a CPA, if you're a healthcare insurance broker, and you are not personally debt free, and you have an open mind, and you want to understand what I'm talking about help you understand this, we can exchange. I help you for free, you help me for free, and we can grow and be the clientele that you will have. You will attract rich, understanding, wealthy, understanding, money understanding people will come to you because they will know that you speak the language. Because people with money, they understand there's a different language that people in debt don't understand. So when you think like when a debt slave thinks they're going to finesse a wealthy person, they already know you don't understand by the language you use, the things you say. You roll up in a nice car, you think you're impressing a wealthy person or a rich person just because you're driving up in a nice car. They know you're making payments because you have a job. Hey, where you work? Oh, I work at this job at so-and-so, and you pull up in a brand new Cadillac Escalade. They know you're making payments because if you're working at a particular job, you can't buy a brand new Escalade in cash, so you're making payments. Automatic, but the person driving the Cadillac Escalade or whatever Mercedes Benz, they don't know that. They think they're impressing somebody. They're not impressing anybody. Hey, where you work? Oh, that's all you need to know. You driving up a brand new Benz and you're a bus driver or something. You're making payments. You didn't buy that car in cash. You didn't. Thank you, Omanike. Yep, yes, but it starts with becoming debt free. Use that job. Job is a tool. Okay, there's nothing wrong. And people, if you're new here, I'm not saying SMD family members don't have jobs, but the SMD family members understand that a job is a tool. It's not a place where you make friends. You're not going to be there for 30, 40, 50 years and then talk about retirement. And I want you to listen closely. Like, say like this. Say like you have a job and then they tell you, hey, if you work X amount of time, this you'll have a nest egg of a $500,000 or $1 million after 30, 40 years of working here. You got to say to yourself, do I not believe in myself that I can't, that I can't make $1 million with 30 years of my life? I can make $1 million in a year, 2 years. You got to say that to yourself. I believe more in myself that I can make $1 million. It won't take me 30 years to make $1 million. No. It's just because you don't know. That's it. That it's possible. You got to just change your mindset. And when you're out in public, SMD family members always already know this. When you go out in public and you're around people, and then you say like your window, you're walking down the street and you're in a shopping district, whatever, and you're looking through the windows. Never say, "Oh my God, that's expensive," because you don't know who's around you. If you look at an item that's inside of a store and say like the item costs $500 and you say, "Oh my God, that's expensive," you're only talking about yourself, your finances, because the person next to you, that's probably like $5 to them. But if you say it's expensive, you just told that person your financial situation and you don't even know it because you're using these words. Don't use words like that out in public. Even if it's expensive to you, say it to yourself in your brain, never out in public, because you never know. LJ, I'll never forget this cop I met at a bar who was bragging about $1,000 car payment for his 2024 F50. You know what's so crazy? This was wild, Jacquees. Debt slaves believe if they say a high car payment out in public to people, they believe, and it's true to other debt slaves, they believe that they will say, "Oh my God, he makes a lot of money if he can afford $1,000 payment." But people that understand money, they'll look at, "Are you crazy? $1,000 for a depreciating object with interest? No." Especially brag about it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What's that button? Oh, that's an extra key. Okay. If your job can't give you experience in starting your business, then it's a dead end job. Just use it to capital. Use it to get capital and then get out. Exactly. A job is to finance your business, because the less you have to borrow to finance your business, the better. Use your job for what it is. And you'll be surprised if you have no debt. If you have no debt, your job can finance your business. It can. Just live modestly. You don't have to just get a simple place, have a simple car. That's how I live today. Everything's simple because I know the bigger thing. My bigger goal, listen, SMD family knows, my bigger goal is to go around the world and help people. First, I have to do these steps. First, I have to figure this out, because those are questions. Those are the first questions. Hey, LJ, if I quit my job and start my own business, what am I going to do about healthcare coverage? I'm figuring that out right now, because that's one of the scary pieces. People don't really talk about it. They don't really talk. I get it. I totally get it. First, the scary part was me to quit my 6-figure job. I had to get over that hump. Now I have to figure out, now that I'm through all that and start my own business, how do I get healthcare coverage? I'm not going to fall for, "Hey, hurry up. You got this window. You better hurry up, else you ain't going to get coverage for next November." Hey, listen, you're not scaring me. I guess I just have to take care of myself in between time. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to fall over, get cancer, whatever the stuff they tell you on videos, and it scare the shit out of you. Don't believe it. Just take care of yourself while on your journey, and you'll figure that piece out. I promise you, you'll figure it out. Let me see. Here, let me put this up here. If you guys have any questions, because I'm going to build this team. I'm building this team. I got to figure this. I'm going to build this team. If you are a tax professional, if you are a healthcare insurance broker, if you are a CPA who is not personally debt free, I can open your eyes into a whole different perspective of the financial world, especially when it comes to taxes, especially. None of your colleagues, none of your peers will be able to compete with you. They will not understand what you're doing. If you even work for a firm, say like you're a tax professional, you work for a firm, you have this knowledge. The owner of that firm will be like, hey, how do you know this? What are you doing? You'll automatically start your own firm because you will know something that the majority of the world, of the United States, does not know. None of this works. Listen closely, professionals. Capitalism does not work without people. Now I want you to just break it really down simple. If there were no people here, would there be an economy? Absolutely not. Slavery, before slavery, it was physical slavery. Physical slavery was the runner. That is what made capitalism work. Once that was illegal, it still must be people. So they went from physical slavery to psychological slavery. People say, oh man, things changed when the dollar was no longer backed by gold. That doesn't matter. Debt slaves backed the dollar. It doesn't have nothing to do with gold. That's for debt slaves to believe that. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. What's up, Raymond? You're on mute. There you go.
Hey, LJ, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, sir. Good. Welcome.
Good, good. Nice to finally meet you. I've been watching you for a while, actually since 2019, so it's been over 6 years.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of S&E family members and I appreciate you all. You guys don't have to talk to me, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so I was mentioning as far as health insurance, I've been in the insurance space for going on 3 years now. Actually, starting in April, it'll be my third year as a licensed agent. I'm licensed to sell life insurance and health insurance. Now, I mainly deal with seniors, so the senior market. So when it comes to health insurance, I mainly help seniors with their Medicare, and then also life insurance, more so with the final expense type of life insurance. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's mainly for older people who either because of their health or just old age, they may not qualify for regular life insurance. Or if they do qualify, the premiums will be pretty expensive. So final expense is kind of just meant to kind of help cover them at a lower cost for, the more sickly elders. That's particularly with health insurance. I've had a couple jobs where I've sold Medicare insurance, and I've sold health insurance individually as an individual agent. As far as what you were mentioning, the premiums. So what you were, I guess, what they were explaining to you is probably they wanted to know your income because with the what's called the ACA, Affordable Care Act. That's back when Obama was in office. It's called Obamacare is what it's known as, but it's really ACA. What they do is they take your income, and based on what your income is, you're going to get a certain amount of tax credits that would bring your monthly premium down. So at the end of the year, when they file your taxes, which you probably might have seen this in like previous tax returns, it'll ask you about the health insurance premiums. Did you have health insurance through the marketplace? And so if you did, they'll add up your premium and then they'll deduct that from like the amount of income that you made for that year. That's how they'll calculate what your premium will be. There were some huge changes this year with the Trump passing the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, where he kind of, it did affect mainly people on Medicaid, but also it did affect the tax credits for ACA as well. So even though people were at a certain income, they were receiving a certain amount of tax credits. That's going to be going up now. There's a lot of people, they're going to be receiving a lot less when it comes to those credits to help cover their monthly premium. So that's one of the reasons why your monthly premium is as high as it is,
Mm-hmm.
is because of that. Now, as far as you were mentioning providers, like there are certain health plans that um, you do have to visit specific hospitals and providers, right? So I don't know because each state is different. Every
Mm-hmm.
insurance carrier is not in every state.
Right.
Washington, I'm not too familiar with. I am licensed in 5 states, but Washington isn't one of them. So I'm
Okay.
not sure what carriers they went over with you.
Mm-hmm.
I do know United Healthcare is a big one. Um, I know Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield is a big one as well. But as far as the other ones, I'm not sure if
Mm-hmm.
those would be in your state. Um, but yeah, so depending on which insurance carrier you go with, that is going to determine where you would have to go for your health coverages, such as hospitals and seeing certain providers.
Right.
Um, you did mention you don't necessarily visit the hospital a lot, which is good. If that's the case, I would say, and I don't know if he actually sent you the plans, because usually with my clients,
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually send them the plans that I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he did that with you or not, but I'll actually send them all of the plans that I'm looking at, and I'll start from the cheapest one to whatever I feel like would be the most affordable for you.
Mm-hmm.
But we do definitely want to make sure that if you do have doctors that you see or specific hospitals you go to, we do want to make sure those is added. Also, prescriptions are a big one as well. If you
Mm-hmm.
have prescriptions, we definitely want to make sure that we get those down because, like I said, certain plans they may not cover certain prescriptions and things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, that's definitely something that you would want to make sure is covered, and that I don't. Well, it won't affect the price, but it'll affect which plan you're eligible for, right? If you want to have
Right.
certain, yeah, because the price is going to be the price.
And that's very, and see, and it's like, okay, because I was talking to one person and she was like, well, my business can pay, it could be under my business name or
Mhm.
a group plan, like, but I figured out since I'm the only person, I can't be I can't get the insurance under my business name because I'm the only person in it. So I
Right.
can't qualify for a group plan, but the
Yeah.
premiums can be wrote off. But still, I really don't understand all this stuff.
Right. Yeah. Group is mainly for if you have employees,
Correct.
like yeah, employees mainly. Now I know you can make it to where you are an employee of your business, but I think you have to have multiple employees
Correct. You
for
have to have
group
multiple.
coverage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As far as individual,
Excuse me.
I think that would be the best bet for you if it's just you. Um, Now, what specifically were you having issues understanding as far as what they were explaining to you?
I was wanting to just understand how to, I guess, when I was asking them about the taxes stuff, right? They were like, well, you have to talk to your CPA about that part,
Mhm.
right? So I said,
Okay.
okay, all right, let me go talk to my CPA. So now when I go talk to a CPA, they don't really understand the question I'm asking about tax, because I want to know what plan is going to, well, I know they're not going to know what plan is going to work for me because of my health, but that's where the insurance broker comes in and say, okay, what kind of plan works for me best? But I need to structure my business to where I can save the most money in taxes, pay for my premiums, and et cetera, like that. How and which provider is going to work for me in my area, in my county? I need all that information
Gotcha.
provided to me. If I'm even, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
Right. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like I said, I watch you a lot, so I know where you're coming from when you speak about the taxes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think I remember you mentioned that phantom income,
Mhm.
where basically you save money because so like I know you had mentioned like when other people are in debt, you're actually saving money and you're making more because if they make a certain amount of money, but they're in this amount of debt, but you're saving this amount in taxes,
Mhm.
even though you have a lower income, you're actually making more than them because of what you called it phantom income.
Yeah, because
It's something
they
like
can't
that.
The people in debt can't save money on taxes.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, so I know exactly where you're coming from when you speak about taxes. Now, I would say that as far as the tax part, that is something that you would have to speak to a tax CPA about. As far as health insurance, the best thing that we would be able to do is just find the best plan that fits your needs
Right.
based on what you use your health insurance for. Now,
Okay.
like you were mentioning, it doesn't really sound like you have any major health issues, which is great. So I would say in your case, whatever the cheapest plan would be for you, I would say look into those plans. Those are usually going to be the bronze plans. So there's 3 tiers, well, actually 4 tiers of plans. So you have bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Platinum usually being the more expensive ones, bronze being the less expensive. The difference between those is going to be deductibles and copays, right? Usually with the higher plans, most of those will have a lot lower deductible, if any at all, because you're paying a hefty premium. With the bronze plans, they're going to be a lot cheaper, but you're going to have a lot of deductibles that you're going to need to cover first before your insurance will actually kick in, right? So it kind of is like a way of the insurance company saying, well, listen, if you're going to be paying this less amount of money, we need to make money somehow. So this is the deductible that you have to cover first before we'll cover any of your other expenses. Now,
even like the high deductible, say like it's a high deductible, right? But if I have an HSA plan or something similar to that, I pay into that, and then I pay those deductibles with that HSA plan.
Right. Yeah, right. Those are okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So there are plans with the HSA. Yeah, you mentioned those as well. Did you mention that to the agent when you were speaking to them?
No, I didn't get that far with them.
Okay.
Because they were pushing me, because I was talking about my business too. How can I structure my business to where individual, and they kept pressing me to individual because I couldn't do it because I was by myself. So I said, okay, whatever. So now I got to talk to a CPA that's knowledgeable to understand what I'm trying to do. And so I say, how should I structure my business? Should I leave it LLC? Should it be a S corp? Because I need them to understand that, then go purchase the insurance.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. That's definitely I would say you're doing it the right way. And yeah, with the HSA, those are usually going to be for the high deductible plans, which are going to be those bronze and I believe silver plans as well.
And high deductible plans will work if there's because I know there's some kind of HSA something, and that's what the CPA person will be able to tell me. Hey, what kind of plan what kind of HSA type plan that I can invest in there to pay, because I would pay the co-pays and the deductibles or whatever with that card, because they give you a card, and then I pay that with that because it's tax-free money,
right?
Not money out of my pocket,
right?
So I'm okay with the high deductibles and the co-pays if I'm paying, because I'll be paying it with tax-free money.
Absolutely. So that's kind of just like the general aspect of all of what health insurance and the marketplace and things like that. Like I said, it is different in each state. Not every carrier is in every state, so there's going to be different types of plans all over. Also, I don't know, because there's also there's state-based exchanges, and then there's federal-based. I don't know if Washington is a state or federal-based. With that,
Washington has the health plan finder.
Okay, it sounds like it's a state-based then. So what that means is basically health insurance is handled through the state then. Certain states are federal, meaning that you can just go on the federal website and apply, healthcare.gov, and you can apply for health insurance.
And see, why don't they just make it one thing? Why do they, make it so confusing?
I'm not right. Yeah, they make it confusing. I'm not sure why they do it like that. I guess it's just the way they have it. Also, there's a separate website for, like I said, I do Medicare as well. There's another website for Medicare as well, Medicare.gov. Now, Medicare is that is a federal program, so all of that's completely handled federally. It's just it can be confusing. I understand. Like I said, I've only been in this industry going on 3 years in April, so I'm still learning myself. I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers.
Now, do you work for a company yourself? What do you do?
Yeah, so right now I do work for WellCare, but I work for the state based for Medicaid.
And you
So I
get
do.
healthcare insurance through your company, correct?
Yeah, I have health insurance through my job. Yeah, I work for a carrier, but it's a job. It's not a. Now I do I do it individually as well. Like I'm an independent agent, but that's
Mhm.
outside of my job. Like I
Right,
do that outside of it.
right, right. Yeah, it's frustrating, but I know it's kind of sounds kind of weird, but it's frustrating, but it's exciting to me as well because I'm understanding it. There's because I know because when I go through these hoops, I first thing I think is what do the wealthy do? They don't. I know they don't go through this. I know it's done a different way. It has to be.
Yeah.
They must be. What do they do?
Yeah, well, they have the rich have the connections to be able to find the right people to
That's what
help
I'm
with
talking
that.
about. That's what I want to do. I want to find the right people that
Right.
know exactly what I'm talking about and tell me exactly what to do. It's no different than a person coming to me asking how to become debt free. What do you do, LJ? I know exactly what to tell them. I know exactly what to do, what to tell them. I know it's the same for rich or wealthy people. I know they they're not worried about the premiums. They're not worried, not just because they're rich, because they know how to play the tax game.
Right. Right.
So, no, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your knowledge, man, for real.
Yeah, not a problem. And I'll still hit you up in the email just to give you my contact information. If you have any additional questions regarding health insurance, I'm definitely here. Like I
Thank
said,
you
I've been
so
watching you for a while. I've learned a lot from you. When I first started watching you, I wasn't licensed at that time, but I had a job. I had kind of a hiccup myself. Got into some medical debt, but I'm completely out of that now. I am debt free.
Okay.
I do have credit cards with balances on them, but I pay them off completely each month. I pay the full balance statement off each month.
Okay.
So I don't carry a balance, interest or anything like that.
How old are you?
I'm 31. I'll be
Oh
32
man,
in March.
you're young. So you probably don't find other people in your age, your generation in the same financial position as you as far as debt free.
I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of people like that.
There's not.
I don't
There's
really,
not. There's not.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't really pay
Congrats.
attention to what other people. I mean, whatever they have going on, I just try to, stay focused on the narrow road and keep my head in the sand. I try to stay out of other people's, business. I mean, I don't judge people if whatever they drive, and
Right.
that's it. I know you mentioned you also say rich is not a look, right?
Mhm.
It's not a look. You
People
can
with
have
money can make it look like anything they want.
right,
Mhm.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So, but okay, I'll go ahead and drop down, and you have a good one.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely no problem.
All right. I like that. What's up, Andre? You're on mute. Andre, you there? You're on mute. He's got to unmute it. I don't get it. Oh, there
Can
you
you
go.
hear me?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, now I can.
Yeah, I can.
I'm hearing
I'm hearing
feedback too.
feedback too. Uh, let me close. Let me close it.
All right.
Hold on. All right. How about now? Can you hear me?
Test, test. Okay, yeah, it's good. I can hear you.
Test,
I just
test.
didn't. Oh, now
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
hearing
it's good. I
myself
can hear
still.
you. I just. Oh, no, I'm hearing myself still. Let me turn on the volume. Okay. How about now?
Test, test.
Test, test.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Loud and true.
it's loud too. Just a few things. One, first of all, this is not financial, legal, or tax advice. Just to cover myself.
Okay.
Okay. So the tax code, like I explained to you earlier, that's where all the money is, right? And the tax code provides you with uh, a ridiculous number of options. I put there in the chat. There, of course, there's limits. There's a point where it kicks in and starts making it worthwhile. So, for example, I put in there the S corp, and the S corp unlocks.
Oh, you
Oh,
changed
you
your
changed your
name. I'm
name.
like, what are you
What are you
talking
talking
about?
about?
Okay.
Okay. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So the S corp, you have your LLC, but the LLC is an entity. It's a fictional person, and that is for liability purposes. Now, most people mess up the whole point of the LLC because they will, for example, their business credit card is maxed out, and they'll say, "Oh, it's okay. I'll just pay with my personal card." When you do that, especially if you do it over and over, you have rendered your LLC null and void. You have no liability protection. It's supposed to be a separate person, a legal person separate from you. So you have to follow the rules, and if you have a good accountant, they'll explain that to you. The S corp, usually it kicks in at about 80,000 or so net profit. And then, but when you have an S corp, you have to be an employee. You have to pay yourself a salary, and of course, pay the relevant taxes. Right? Let's talk about auditing. I don't know the numbers, but it's a really big difference. It's like 10-1 or 100-1, something crazy like that. So sole proprietorships with LLCs are the most audited entity in the United States. You have a target on you when you have an LLC that is taxed as a sole proprietor. So it's taxed personally, right? Shows up on your Schedule C. So if you're generating enough net profit, or when you do, you want to convert your entity to an S corp, and that unlocks a bunch of stuff for you. Now, you don't have to be you don't have to even have a business. A matter of fact, you don't even have to have wages to have an HSA, right? And that's on purpose, because there's a lot of people who have income but don't have a job, and they don't have a business but they have income, and we'll talk about that later. So the HSA, all you have to do is have a high deductible health plan, and then once you have that, and of course you're paying the premiums. Once you have that, you can open up an HSA. Now the HSA is a supercharged account. It's special. It's the only one in the US tax code that works this way. It is a triple tax-free account. So you don't pay any taxes going in, no income tax, nor do you pay FICA food or SUDA, Medicare, all of that. That skips that. Same like a 401k. The HSA grows tax-free. So it's tax-free going in, tax-free when it's in there. And then when you use it for medical expenses, and the list, you can go on irs.gov, and the list is extensive. Like toothpaste, toothbrushes, it's ridiculous. But you do have to maintain your paperwork. They don't play about that. So you can have tax-free going in, tax-free growth, and tax-free coming out. Then once you hit Medicare age, you can begin taking that money out as if it were an IRA or 401k. So it would be part of your taxable income, but there'll be no penalties. Now here's where where you can get messed up. One, you have to make sure you maintain your documentation. And two, if you take the money out for something other than a medical expense before the age of 59 and a half, or no, it's got to be higher, 65, you will get a 20% penalty. So you got to follow the rules. right? Now the S corp also opens up an additional, very special thing. It allows you to have your own 401k in your business, right? And what's special about that, you have your personal election up to your personal election limit, which is 25,000. But on top of that, as the business, you can put an additional amount. So you could put up to like 55, 60, something like that. I forget the numbers, don't hold me to it. But you could put an obscene amount of money into your solo 401k. Now, you cannot have employees. Well, you can have employees, but those employees cannot work more than 1,000 hours in any calendar year.
So
Follow?
the best is not to have employees.
Say again?
So the best is not to have employees.
Well, I mean, let's say, for example, you have a seasonal business. You run an RV park, and 6 months out of the year it's busy, and the other 6 months there's nobody there. Well, that's a perfect opportunity to put employees on for 1,000 hours, and after the 1,000 hours are done, and not 1,001, has to be 1,000 or less.
You there? Did I lose you?
Yeah,
Andre?
you hear me? You hear me or no?
Now I can.
Yeah, I was saying that your spouse can be part of that, but that's a solo 401k, which is no employees over 1,000 hours in any calendar year.
Okay.
So for me, again, not financial, tax, or legal advice, the HSA is probably it's up there. It's limited by the amount you can put in. That's the problem, right? 4,000, 5,000 a year, or something like that. But the fact that it's triple tax-free cannot be ignored. And if you are relatively healthy, it's probably the best option. So it'd be a high deductible health plan, and it has to be a high deductible health plan to qualify for the HSA. And of course, you have to have sufficient income to max it out. Ideally, you want to max it out. So, like I was telling you before, maybe last year or the year before, you can set it up. Let me give you an example. You can set yourself up to where you have, let's say, $1 million of income, maxed out 401k, and when I say max out, let's say a solo 401k option, you've maxed it out, not only your personal election, but the employer match. You can max out your traditional Roth IRA. You can max out your HSA and pay, with the exception of your Social Security and whatnot that you would pay for on your W-2 wages, pay not 1 penny more in tax. A matter of fact, theoretically, let's say, for example, a wealthy couple has a grandson, right? And they give that grandson, they open up a 529 and fund that 529 college plan. At the same time, they fund a life insurance policy for them. And the parents, let's say, one of them has a company that they can pay the child to work, summer work or something like that. Under those circumstances, that child at the age of 18 could have a couple $1 million in assets. Right?
That's how they do it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I could go on all night, with the various tax strategies that are available. It's stupid. It's ridiculous.
So
I know people that have gone 10 years straight paying zero tax legally. But of course, like the gentleman before was saying, they have good advisors, you know, and they are difficult to find and they're expensive. But the options that are available, of course, if you're a W-2 employee only, your options are limited, right?
Yes, for sure.
You got maybe a half dozen things you can do. And those half dozen things are enough. Don't get me wrong. Because most people are not even coming anywhere near taking advantage of that, right? Like you were saying earlier, how many people you know have maxed out, literally maxed out their 401k once, never mind over their lifetime, just once, right? And at the same time, did they max out their 401k and max out their traditional or Roth IRA? No, they didn't. Where we live in Florida, it's extra special when it comes to those things, because you have unlimited creditor protection for your cash value and your life insurance, your 401k, your college, not only college here, but college in a different state. The 529 when I say college. Yeah, unlimited for your property. You can have $100 million property. It's completely protected from creditors. Florida is the only state that has that, where it's protected across all financial assets. So, but just to say, like, it's a little frustrating. And I remember we had a conversation about this several years ago. It's extremely difficult to find people that know what the hell they're doing. It is. Nobody knows what they're doing, LJ. They don't. I've sat in boardrooms with people with 9 figures, and they don't know what they're doing. You know, that's crazy. It's crazy. They have the money to do it. Well, when I say 9 figures, I have to clarify, because SMD and aliens are a little bit different, right? So there, I use this as an explanation. If you've got gold, for example, gold has no counterparty. Gold is the only true money. But guess what? You can't eat gold. You can't drink gold. It's an asset on your balance sheet, and it pays no interest. It has no coupon. But it is the only form of money that exists on the planet. Next up from there is cash. So when people say, oh, I got X amount, okay, do you have it in cash? Because if you don't, you have a counterparty. The cash itself has a counterparty, which is the Federal Reserve, right? So when you, quote unquote, make a deposit in the bank, the average person goes to the bank, or doesn't go to the bank anymore. You get direct deposit straight from their business, right? When you do that and you put money in a bank, the bank is a business. Think of it like Pizza Hut or Domino's or Lowe's. There's no difference. I mean, there's legal differences, but for the most part, there's no difference. So when you put your money there, you are actually an unsecured creditor of the bank. So if the bank gets into trouble, you're limited up to FDIC insurance. As a matter of fact, I use that as a way to explain to people that you are not making a deposit. They don't take your money, go in the vault, find a little aisle, and put it on the shelf for you. That's not how it works. Right. Your money is now part of the the liabilities of the bank. They owe you that money. So you now have a counterparty. So when and or if a bank fails, you're limited up to FDIC insurance, and there is no FDIC insurance, really. It's like 0.1% or something. It's a ridiculous number. They don't have the money. So it's on the plaque. It says right. So it doesn't take much logic to figure out. If you have my money in there on the shelf in the vault, why do I need the insurance? I only need insurance if there's a chance of me losing my money. Right? This is not rocket science. It's really simple. So when you put your money in the bank, I remember the first bank account I got for my first job. Went to Barnett Bank, opened up a little savings and checking, and they give you a little booklet. It's like maybe 8 pages, really fine print.
Hey,
And, huh?
you telling your age.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen. And I remember, and at the end, like the last or second, I think it was the second to last page, it has a disclaimer and a glossary, right? The part that nobody reads. Well, nobody ever reads that, but I'm the type of guy that reads it all. And at the end of that, it has it's speaking about your deposit. It has deposit in quotes. I was like, huh, that's strange. So I continue reading. And there it explains that the deposit, the reason why it's in quotes, is not a deposit. They clarify when you put money in the bank, what it is. And it tells you right there, you are now an unsecured creditor of the bank. But people will live and die, raise families, pay their mortgage, and never know that money, when they hand it over, is no longer theirs. It's the bank's. It's part of the bank's balance sheet, right? So unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, because unless you had a silver spoon, you're coming into the world negative, right? Like we talked about. Yeah. If you look at the average American makes about $2.2 million over their lifetime, right? So that means you got to go out and work and make that. You got to contribute to society something to get that $2.2 million worth of benefit, right? So if that's the case, that means when you're born in the negative. Yeah. You follow me? Yeah. So, it's over the last 13 years with my wife. Now in the last maybe 6 months, she's really come to understand the concept of people not having any money, and the program is real. It's real. Because I have to repeat it. I'm like, okay, so how much gold does he have? She's like, oh no, he doesn't have. He has I'm like, then what he's got is Chuck E. Cheese coins. You know what I'm saying? It's like he did, but listen, like we always say, it must be that way. If people knew that they were born in the negative, I don't think they can handle it. They couldn't.
When your eyes open, it's pretty scary.
Yeah. Like you say, you have to have a strong mind. When you find out that your money you put in the bank is not yours anymore, is theirs. Well, that's not easy to deal with. When you find out that you think you own a house and you never owned it.
It's scary.
You never really owned it.
Your mind has to be strong.
That's rough, man. It's hard. I'm sure you've experienced this when you get that person there, and they're starting to the scales are falling from their eyes, and they're starting to actually they go through the 5 stages of grief. Did you notice that?
I do.
So I've gotten to the point where I really don't even want to have these conversations anymore. It's depressing to see them go through that.
Like you said, like we always said, you have to have a strong mind, and it keeps getting, and it never. And I noticed this, Andre, it never stops. It keeps growing. There's more and more. Even when we talk about the business side, the S corp, that's it's got to come slow. It can't come all at once.
Yeah, but I just wanted to jump in because I'm a little upset that you're still where you're at.
Me too.
You're not
the only one.
Huh?
You're not the only one.
Because I know how it works in the background, and I don't know. I at the same time also, I don't want people to get discouraged. I just, I want them to know that there's a ton of options. Like, you can't even imagine it. It would take you like 5 years to go through the IRS tax code, reading it all. So for almost everything from grants to setting up the business to minimizing taxes to getting loan. Like there really, there should be a class, maybe yeah, like a class in high school, 4 years straight, where they really explain all this to you, because the fact that you can be a grown adult in the United States, the land of opportunity like you can't imagine, and they don't give you the rule book, like that just seems a little foul, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
just
I've
hand me a
accepted
little rule book and then I'll run with it,
the majority must be debt slaves. I can see it. I can see, because I guarantee you, like I think we said this about years ago too. There's rich schools that are probably very small. I think you mentioned it could be in a neighborhood and we can not know it's even there.
Yes, yeah,
Teach
that's
that.
normally how it is. Yeah, usually it's a student body of 100 to 200 kids max. There will be no, there might be a name, but it won't say school.
Right.
So yeah, it's different. It's different for them, and of course, the education, the best education actually occurs at the dinner table.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't want people to get discouraged. The information's out there. If I can find it, y'all can find it. So you just have to be willing and curious enough to want to go down that rabbit hole.
If you're brave enough.
Yeah, that too. Absolutely. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, and we need more details, just let me know. Shoot me an email.
I will. Sure, I will.
Because there's no backsies. If you miss your IRA contribution, you can't make it up.
Can't make
you
it
miss
up.
your HSA contribution, you can't make it up. They give you that little extra 1,000, but that's not gonna fix years of delay. So yeah, we got to get you on that, so you don't miss that opportunity.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, no problem.
I'll shoot you an email. I know we ain't emailed in quite a bit, but
well, I've been busy. I know you've been busy, so
I've been busy.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Man, like we were saying, people first, I had to become debt free, okay? And it must come slow, because just like Andre is trying to tell you guys, it's if it comes too fast, it can overwhelm you. And then you'll start thinking about your age, how far you are, your money that the money that you're making from your job, and you'll know, wait a minute. And especially it counts on your age. If you have a job and you're making X amount of dollars, you're going to need to figure out how to make money faster to do this catch up, because in order to take advantage of all these tax options, you have to have money. Hey, max out this, max out that. That all takes money. It takes a lot of money to max out that stuff. And the older I get, I have to hurry up, because it's happening now, and I have to have money to put in those things to save from an HSA and all that other stuff. And I also think back how awesome it would have been if I was a child and I had a parent, and I'm not even blaming my parents for not knowing, but it would have been beautiful to have parents that already had this information and instilled this in me as a young child. That would have been beautiful. That would have been absolutely beautiful, but that's neither here nor there. Right now, my business right now, I have to work on the business to produce enough money to take advantage of these things, because now I'm 56. I have to hurry up. But I don't put that in my mind like, oh my God, I got to, because if I rush or try to make moves based on fear, that's a bad thing. Never make financial moves based on fear. I've learned that. I do not do that. I have to do one step at a time. Oh, understand this, understand that, understand. Because having a job, now, if you have a job, that really taught me a little bit about the HSA and the retirement plan and how to reduce my tax bracket. That was really a beginning step for me to understand it, because I never maxed out my HSA in any job I had making six figures until the last 2 years I had a job. because I was debt free and I had money to say, like, you're a 6-figure earner right now. Okay. You're a 6-figure earner right now. You have a job. And say, like, I don't know what the max is for HSA or the, not the HSA, but the 401k, right? I think it's 20 some thousand. Look it up. I'm not exactly sure. But if you're making 6 figures and you cannot max out your HSA and your 401k, making 6 figures, you got to figure out why. Why am I not able to do that? Because if you're in debt all the way up to your eyeballs in debt and you're making 6 figures, there's nothing you can do to reduce yourself in your tax bracket. And you not being able to fully fund your 401k and your HSA is a red flag. That's just, why can't I do that making 6 figures? That's a red flag. Figure out why you can't do that, because you're losing out. And the older you get, the more opportunities you miss, because just like Andre said, once you miss the window of funding these things, you can't go back and say, oh man, I woke up. Can I go back 10 years? And no, nope, you missed it. You missed it. She says, CJ says, what's your outlook on life goals, family? Are you in a relationship with a woman nope. That's a good question too. That's another good question. Where I'm at today, and I'm 56, I'm single. I'm not with anybody. I can't be in a relationship with a woman who is not debt free. Just, that's not even an option. Because it can't work. There's really no point, especially at this age, because you have to, if say, like, and I've come across a couple of women, that's the first thing, and I don't even have to ask if they have a nice car, if they have a house, and I'll be like, hey, did you get an awesome interest rate on your mortgage? If they mention the interest rate, that means they're in debt. If they have a nice car, I would say, and I don't say, are you making payments? I just say, did you get a good interest rate on your car? If they say yes, that's all I need to know. They're in debt. The woman might be nice, beautiful, whatever. It doesn't matter. I can't mess around. I'm 56. I ain't got time to be fucking around. I can't. It's not like that when I was in my 30s. You know, it's all about looks and how, you know, what does her body look like? Is the sex good? Hey, none of that. I don't look at any. That's not even on my mind. I got to get this going. If I have to create a team of people, a business of debt-free professionals, because just like Andre said, that, you know, they're out there, but they're hard to find, and of course they're going to be expensive because they have the knowledge to do so. I'm going to find them, or I'm going to create them. That's just how it has to be. Because I don't mind learning about taxes and doing this. I don't want to know the details. I want to say, hey, this is all I want to do. Find a debt-free tax professional and say, this is my business. Here's all my documents. Here's my income, blah, blah, blah. Do your thing. Make it, organize it right to where I don't have to pay any taxes for the next 10 years and do this and that. I don't want to know the details of it. You do it, and I'll pay you for it because it's going to be worth every penny. I just need to find a person that understands that, that's licensed, that has a great relationship with the IRS, no funny business and nothing like that. That's all. I don't need to know the ins and outs. I just want that person to come. It's just like Andre came up to me and said, hey, man, invest in this and put the HSA and it does this and the Medicaid and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to know all that. You do it. Long as you understand what that means, here's the money, I'll pay you, here's all my stuff, do it right. I ain't got time to be learning all that stuff. I only want to know just enough to understand that you understand the language. I am, Andre. I'm going to find them. A SMD family, I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure that out. You know, even with the healthcare plans. Oh, here's the bronze. Here's the cheapest one. I don't want to go by of course I got to go by what I can afford, but is that cheap plan going to cover me for stuff I need a knee surgery here pretty soon because I messed up my knee a long time ago. I know I'm going to need knee surgery. Do all that. Make that work. Like I said, to answer that question, the other person, hey, what about your it's going to be, put it this way, it's going to be very difficult for me to be in a relationship with a woman if she's not debt free. That's just, listen, the debt free part is that's step one. That's just step one. Nowhere near sex and other than that stuff. We're not even coming close to any of that. After you're debt free, okay, what is your mindset? Are you planning to have a job for the rest of your life and not a business? And there's so much stuff to as far as relationship goes. I don't even think about that kind of stuff. I really don't. Not even on my mind. But if she comes across and she has the correct mindset and she's debt free and we're speaking the same language, maybe then we can move on to that. But as far as now, I'm 56, man. I ain't got time to be messing around with nobody, having disagreements, arguments, none of that stuff. None of that. I done did all that stuff the majority of my life, wasted many, many years doing that. Cheap is cheap, exactly. Cheap is cheap. Oh, difficult to fix them after they enter. Yeah, after they enter after their minds are converted into the workforce. That's it. If I can get them younger, straight out of college, and you're young, especially if you're a young person and you are passionate about what you do, I can help accelerate. We can exchange services. Step one excludes 90%. Like, I always appreciate you. I appreciate you, Andre. I really do appreciate your knowledge. And it's so crazy, the way, just like we had this conversation just now, it's like, hey man, when we talked a few years ago, it's like, it's been years now. We're talking years now. That's crazy how we just casually talk about it, but it has been years now. I know I sound, to most people, I sound frustrated because I'm learning, but that's just part of it. It reminds me of when I first got into computers, when I didn't understand the language, I didn't understand IP addresses, I didn't understand megabytes, gigabytes, blah, 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 networking. It frustrated the shit out of me. But once I understood it, it's like computer networking. This is what it's like. And I know Andre can understand it. It's like computer networking. Once I understand how everything works and connects, it's just like that. I can see the pieces coming together, and I get a little piece here, get a little piece there, put them together, and it's going to come together. That is my ultimate goal, to travel. First of all, I'm going to travel the world, helping people get out of the debt matrix. That's number one. That part was frustrating at first. Now it's a piece of cake. All right, it's a piece of cake. I can speak the language. Now I'm new to the business side. I make sure my mind is not overwhelmed that I'm 56. I missed all these opportunities because I don't want to tie myself up over missing something that I didn't know that I was missing in the beginning because I didn't know it existed. But now that I know, and just like we said earlier, your mind will have to be strong. If you're new to this and you're listening to this video and you're not even debt free, you're deep in debt and you have a job and you think that's normal, once you slowly come out of that, your mind will have to be strong to accept what you did not know. Just accept it. You're going to be upset with yourself. You're going to be like, oh, I'm too old. I missed all this time, and I let it all slide. Let it all go away. Be happy that you know now, and learn from knowledgeable people. Saying, SMD fam, this is what this channel is created for, because you're going to go through that. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed, because this shit will put you, if you will let it, it will put you in a depression. It will put you in a depression when you can see what you could not see before. If you let it, get over it, let it go slowly. Don't worry about the time that you missed the opportunity. Because trust me, just being debt free is a blessing. It is. It's a blessing. The freedom. And then it's going to be time. The time in your life is going to be the most important thing to you. You're not going to waste it on. You're not going to. First of all, you're not going to waste it anymore, and you're definitely not going to allow anybody else to waste it either. That goes back to relationships. Anyway, let me wrap this up. Damn, it's been 2 hours already. I didn't plan on doing 2 hours. But anyway, thank you, everybody. If you catch this video later, leave a comment. SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. If you want to shoot me an email, I'll put the email in the details of this video when I'm done. Then you can reach out to me. But I appreciate you all. I'm going to be sharing my journey. I'm about to do, when I do my taxes and stuff for last year. I was talking to my CPA, and I think we're going to end up doing the S Corp thing. So I'm going to let you know how that goes. Andre, I'm going to shoot you some more emails, let you know how that goes, sir, and slowly figure this out. And then I'm going to share this information for you 30-year-olds. You guys, if you guys get this knowledge now, I'm going to share something with you I wish somebody would have shared with me when I was in your 30s. When I was in my 30s, if I don't even know if I would have listened to it or not, but if you're watching this channel, you're obviously listening. You're obviously listening. So see you later, Omanique, Andre. All right, Nick, I see you there, and everybody else that's in the room. Appreciate you all. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep up with this journey and let you guys know, to make you guys, to help your journey be easier, to not have to be less frustrated, who to pick, what professionals you need. But if I just like Andre said, if I get these people young out of college, the young people that haven't been corrupted yet, into the, not corrupted, but mind changing inside of the debt matrix, the better. Okay. So you guys have a wonderful evening, especially on the East Coast. Thank you guys for staying up so late, because it's only 8 o'clock over here on the West Coast. So you guys have a wonderful evening. All right. See you later.